Real quick, I wanted to ask you guys, first of all, my name is Calvin Yadav. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of IREX. I'm joined by Nick, who is the co-founder and CTO, my friend, my partner, my brother, my only friend, I should say, right now. When you're building a company, you don't have time for friends. So before I start, I just wanted to ask everybody, we heard like a lot of feedback yesterday on AI and all that, so I just wanted to open up for 2 minutes and ask you guys, when I say the word AI for threat detection, what comes to your guys' mind? The first thing comes to your mind. Do you want to go first? Video, surveillance. Anybody else? Facial recognition, yes. It's a divided subject in America right now, but it is what it is. Anything else? You guys hear like AI, what does it do? Anything from the application?
Analyzing data is what I've heard.
Analyzing the data, yeah, it could be a video data, or it could be an audio data, or different type of evidence base. So yeah, that's what basically I wanted to collect, because that way I will formulate your guys' answer into my presentation. If you notice that there's a #1 ethical part in front of the IREX name, and that is because there was a bake-off like a few months back conducted by NIST, who's a branch of federal government, and they did our bake-off against a lot of other big companies like Microsoft and Google's of the world, and we secured #1 spot in that on accuracy and speed. And I'll get to that a little bit in a second. And then the part is ethical. We are the only company right now when it comes to big data and analytics and video data that shows how our compression algorithm makes decisions. No other company actually does that, and if you guys heard the term black box, basically it's about they don't know how the AI is making decisions. That is very important for your guys' jobs, and I'll get to that in a second. So this is basically a high-level view of how things work. If you look at the bottom, this is where all the different IoT sensors, cameras, data, audio data, drones, and the good thing about IREX is that we are right now the only company that can do at this level, agnostic to any type of hardware. So you have Motorola present in this conference, you will have Bosch, or some of you guys in local cities using access camera. It doesn't matter what hardware it is. And that's where our basically compression algorithm creates the situational awareness and takes the signal and goes to the IREX secure private cloud. And we compare that data depending on what it is. It's a child abduction, it's a mass shooter, whatever the situation that may be, and you guys get the response to the 911 dispatch centers or anything. To have an officer to know if there's a 1 mass shooter or 2 mass shooter, that type of situation or that type of information is life-saving or life-taking. You know, that's the type of difference we're talking about. So that's what IREX does. I come from an encryption background, from type 1 NSA to commercial to classified. Nick has built one of the largest messaging service, which was a competition of WhatsApp in UK and Europe. So we know our sharing information type of, basically, that's our forte. Why is that important is, let's say there's a wanted fugitives and you guys want to interagency share that information in real time. That's what IREX can help you guys with that. And that's why you will see multiple different agencies on the top. And that's about the high level. I will spend time on it. And if you go to the next slide, please. So we will not cover all of these AI modules, and we don't do our selling from the point of view of per AI. We do the entire platform. So we divide it into threat detection, people analytics, and vehicle analytics. If you're looking for a yellow school bus, how do you find that yellow school bus? And once you found it, in 0.4 seconds, by the way, that's the average time you can find, and how to track it with maps and all that. There's the ethical suspect recognition, and basically from your phone, you can upload a person's picture, or you can text that to your colleague, and that he can upload it, and from the real-time crime centers. And all type of, we have actually partnered with the 20+ missing children organizations, because I'm a father, and our fight against human and child trafficking is very important to us. So I've decided that we're not gonna make any money off that, so we give that AI for free. If anybody, so we have very positive feedback from DHS about that if a child goes missing and locates in Arizona, and we hopefully will have time to showcase that too. And finally, the threat detection is the weapon detection, people falling. We all know what happened in Texas in the concert, like somebody falling down, and crowd intrusion. All those kind of things could be detected by our 20+ AI modules. This is like a quick situational awareness in real time. The reason why I put it there because, as I said, with the time we won't be able to get in all of them. So you see too many people, weapon with a handgun, person in an elevator, wanted fugitive, somebody doing a vandalism, and too many people, smokes, unattended item, a person with a rifle. As a matter of fact, just to know if it's a rifle or a handgun, that kind of information is very important too. So that being said, let's jump right into a demo, Nick. So as you see, Nick is like going on the app right now, and he's gonna log in. And you guys, we don't sell our per user base, so you guys decide as many as user you wanna share your city's analytics. This is a global map, as you see. Let's go to London right now. We want a big project with the London Tube Station. So metros and transportation agencies, we're getting a lot of positive traction from that side. So you see the London Tube Station, and this is where an AI detected, I think there were too many people and weren't wearing masks. I mean, that's one of the applications. I understand some of the states don't see that as a big priority, but I just wanted to highlight that this is a real tube station. Moving on, there's a big problem right now in London, and obviously it's very dedicated to that, but there's a point to that the problem is like a lot of people jumps in front of the trains to commit suicides. And now there is no way to stop suicides, but we have built the world's largest neuron training model. What that means is that if there is an application or use case that is very specific, like suicides, we can build a new AI within 4 to 6 weeks. And that's the key over here. So the AI detected actually right now, like how this person, as you can see, that he shouldn't be there, obviously. And that's one of the things we want to show. And as you can see, you can create the parameters. So these are the events. Abandoned luggage, that's where you're getting. So a lot of you actually get stationed into stadium securities during big events and sporting events. What's the difference between Calvin dropping his backpack over there and getting cash out of the ATM machine, or on purpose leaving the bag and walking away from that? So one of our colleagues actually was a part of the think tank when the Boston bombing happened. And that was one of the things came out. How do you identify in a crowd when you are a sporting event, when you're leaving your bag down and leaving it away on purpose? So this is you saw that how Nick spotted that out. So let's go and try to look at some firearms one. Yeah. So in this one, again, the internet is, okay, good. As you can see, if you make it a bigger. So in this case, the individual actually, if you see hovering, right, see, he loads that. And he's not really walking like a professional gunman, obviously, but it's kind of concealed, but it still spots that part. And we've taken this part of the AI to some of our states have homelessness problem, and how some prostitution or these other things that could happen that it's not safer for children or other community. We have basically, if you look at the events, let's go to the suspect recognition. So this is where we are talking about missing children. Do you want to, yes. So let's try the missing children. So let's look at Brady right now, right there. So this is the child, let's pick, so there you go. So right now the internet speed is super slow, but it's still working very fine. As you can see, you can track the person onto the right on the map, if this is a child or a suspect, depending on the application. And yeah, so earlier, as I mentioned, that there was a 20 plus AI modules. And you can also, by the way, this is a good point, Nick, you can look at a female with the glasses and you can add face features on that. That's very important if somebody's wearing a red jacket or a blue jacket, and how if they switch his jacket and all that kind of stuff, those kind of applications. So there you go. So that's it. A female with glasses was detected right away, and that's how it works. And why you see the question mark in front of it, that's another ethical part. A lot of people who are not part of the AI world don't understand that you cannot make a big brother kind of situation. You cannot track people or recognize people randomly. We refuse to do that, and we don't have access to any one of your data, by the way. You will be owning your own data. That's why there's a lot of cool stuff we can show, but we don't have access to our clients' data. Do you want to show the intrusion alert one? Yeah, this is, by the way, like the vehicle analytics, same way. You're looking for a red van. You start looking for let's look at a car and, okay, or van, or the color, let's put it red. And you can change all this depending on your, application. And boom, there you go. That's how it took. And I think one of them is London, yeah. So finally, let's show them the intrusion. And this is what I'm saying with the time. I don't want to keep bragging about all the things we can do, but I want to bring that up, that a platform that can do all these things together and tell the other AIs what is happening, that kind of thing was never done before. So we have conquered something real big here. And in this thing, this is not other cameras, and other vendors will talk about the same thing too, that obviously, as you can see, the weather conditions are not that good over here. But why is this it detected? It's not a dog, it's not an animal, it's a person who was very creative, and I cannot locate the actual where this building is, but we have a permission to share this, and an individual brings a ladder. So, and we have actually a different individual coming and using a plier to cut the barbed wires one time of this building. But what's the difference between a motion detector and an AI is this. This is a real event is happening. I was talking to the MPD chief in Houston, and they talked about that how they are short on people right now in law enforcement. So how does a police officer become more effective is by having technology help them. Hey, this needs your attention, and that doesn't need your attention. So right now we're partnering up with 5,000 911 dispatch centers, and there's another level where the AI will tell directly a 911 dispatch center that, hey, there's a problem here, there's a fire, I'm from California, that's a big problem. There's a mass shooter or anything like that. I'll pause for a second. I know I talk a little bit fast, and with the time it allowed me, I would like to open for some questions you guys had, some doubts, whatever that may be, fire at me, please.
Does this integrate with most camera systems that people have now, or do you have to use just your cameras if you want to use?
Very good question. It's about any camera, any analog camera. We call them in the industry dumb cameras. Any camera that cannot do anything, it becomes a military-grade force multiplier on top. So you guys don't have to change anything. And that's another ways, because it's not a part of a capital budget. You guys, it's already part of an operational or maintenance budget. You can put the money on top. So yeah, any camera system, you have any IoT sensors. It could be, as I said, drones, access control sensors, whatever that may be. Yes. So yeah, and that's basically what we did here. Any other questions? I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Just about the technology, do you have to have all of your cameras, I guess, funneled into one repository for this to run through? Or does this have to go out and you physically have to load something to run in the background of each one of these cameras?
All video processing runs in real time, so you get instant search capability. So if an event happened 5 seconds ago, it's already in the search results. Also, all these real-time alerts, they become possible thanks to this real-time AI. So if there is an active shooter in the scope, you will get a message with less than a second.
Now, I know that technology is, you guys probably heard that about the mass shooter and everybody getting text. Now, let's say there are two shooters, and one starts to run in a car, a red Volkswagen, and one is running on the foot. Now, having that awareness, situational awareness to you guys in real time to know, that's key here. And then let's just say the person on the foot changes his clothes or something like that. Those kind of things we can add in real time, and that's never been done before. And when a situation where stakes are so high, I think it's very important that we have something that has been awarded #1 on accuracy and speed. And that's why I wanted to bring up the point that right now, basically, the way the law enforcement officers is being treated, one of the things our AI does is like, it takes the blame away from a police officer. That, hey, why did you stop this random person? Why did you stop this random car? And the AI tells you and shows your local mayor or constituents that it wasn't a random stop, and this is how the decision was made from beginning to the end. Security Magazine called us the Google of forensic data. So that was the very important thing here, that we bring the accountability, and we bring basically the shift of the blame away from the first responder in that side. So yeah, there you go. And finally, basically the cost of the thing is very simple. As I said earlier, we don't do per AI module. It's if you want us to provide the whole cloud infrastructure and everything, all the servers, it costs $100 per month. And if you guys already have servers, as you said, the legacy infrastructure, and you just want a force multiplier on top, then it's just $25 per month. Sorry, somebody said.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
$25 per month, yeah.
Shocked you for a second.
Yeah, I know.
I said the same thing. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, and what my thing is, we have, I don't know if you want to refer to like a hybrid, we have some old cameras with one server, we have some IP-based cameras where the camera is on our network, kind of like a standalone.
Yes.
But we just would then give you like the IP address of our cameras or the server, and it dumps it in, and then it comes back out, so
Just the IP address.
That's it. That's it.
Or your DNS if it's capable of history.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so
even the dumb cameras.
Yeah. Even the dumb cameras, yes.
the other cameras throughout the jurisdiction, you know, private-owned cameras, business cameras, things like that.
How are you guys getting access to those? Are you having to, put a transmitting box at that business? Are they providing the IP?
It's a cloud-based, basically, but go ahead.
We can put a transmitting box, or if there is no extra, if the client doesn't want any extra hardware, you can configure the router to transmit the video stream in a secure manner to the IREX cloud over VPN.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out, I'll give you an example.
Yes.
Let's say we have a 7-Eleven, and that person who owns the 7-Eleven has his camera in there. A lot of these guys are contacting us, they want to get involved, they want to, give us the camera information. For that $25 a month that we're talking about there, is that per camera? And also, is that going to give you that real time, hey, someone just came in here with a gun, they didn't get a chance to call, and now we're
Yes. So all the answers are yes to that. And the way it kind of works is that we just want a big project for 5,000 cameras. So in 5,000 cameras, in 5 minutes, probably generating about 1 million of alerts. And that's where IREX shines the most. That's why also we don't like to compete with like a single 7-Eleven, like in this example. But if you have a whole community that wants to share the data, that's where IREX shines the most. Actually, that's where our algorithms actually gives you that real-time situational awareness, that there's somebody came with a gun and all that. So it is $25 per camera, but when you talk about cameras like over 1,000 or something like that, obviously it's not, our cost goes drastically down, and that savings gets forward to you guys, basically. So
When
yeah.
you say it's 25 per camera, I know you're paying that fee, but I'm sure, is there a fee on top of that for the service and everything itself? Or is your price point just based on per camera for the total thing?
The entire platform is included in 25, but let's just say you want us to do, I don't know, like you want us to be involved in the project. Hey, we want you to, like following the gentleman's example, like we want you to add like a new 7-Eleven every week, and you want us to do that. Obviously, that's like a physical labor. We have to add the pricing on top of that. But if we have to buy a hardware for you, like cameras and all that, we do everything full transparency. We'll show you the price, how much we're buying from the vendor. But let's just say some people want us to cut the check and they want us to take care of everything. But if you guys have your already approved vendors in the state, we'll do that.
So we do a lot of edge recording and using LTE as a connector.
Okay.
Bring it back. So do you have a solution, because I don't foresee being able to put 5, 6, 7, high resolution cameras constantly bringing it into your cloud. Do you have some sort of video encoder or something that you're putting there on the edge to accomplish the processing? Or is that not something you can really do with an LTE solution?
I'll let Nick answer that, and I'll show you the LTE connection. Like I just did it, exact same thing when Nick did everything on my phone. And that's very important for COVID-related world.
An option to deploy IREX AI at the edge for bandwidth constraints on site. For example, we do it for gas stations with 3G or 4G modems. So we use standard industrial computers or servers to run IREX AI as software. And this box will only transmit a threat alert to your cloud.
Yeah, because you don't want to know everything is happening to that camera every day, because you want to, as an officer, you want to be only responding to the threats or whatever protocol you have generated, a gun, person walking with a gun, or like we were pitching in the Michigan state, and they wanted to create more safe city type of environment. So they didn't have a type of like shooting type of thing. They wanted like pedestrians and create more culture of people using bicycles. So basically they wanted predictive accidental data. Like, hey, this pedestrian is about to get hit by this car. And so we have actually done this in a really cool way of somebody on bridges doing the basically crossing the bridge in an illegal way, and they're close to getting hit, or the individual on the rail tracks. So we can create that side too. But back to your point, like you don't really need the 24/7 somebody's watching the computer screens. And in the world of today, the fusion centers allows you guys to be in different places and share information. That's what IREX makes everything in real time.
And with that happening,
Yep. Okay. So yeah, one final thing is, anyone of you would be willingly like talk to me for 5 minutes? Okay, that's one. Come on, gentlemen, give me one more. But just, would you like to talk just for 5 minutes?
I'm not permitted to.
Okay, it's okay. So yeah, we'll talk like just for 5 minutes, and like as I said, you will have 100% rights to say yes or no if you want to publish that or not. Okay. That being said, thank you, and you guys have my business cards. If we are running free pilots, so if you guys want us to run a pilot in your city or in your constituents or whatever, the 7-Eleven, just let me know and we will do that, and I'll take the hit of all the pricing of the site.
thank you.
Thank you guys. All right.